Well, the spring real estate market is picking up here in Chicago and across the country.
Things are shifting a little as the economy tightens. Joining us now to talk about the market is Tommy Choi, a realtor in Chicago who serves as the board president of Illinois REALTORs. Tommy, thanks for being with us.
Thanks for having me.
First of all, talk a little bit about how things have changed, because for several years now it's been a seller's market, still is, but are you seeing things switch a little bit?
Yeah, that's a great question. And typically I always get asked, how's the market? And it all depends on what supply and demand looks like, right? Economics 101. And right now, still in the spring market, we are seeing demand outpace the inventory and supply. In Chicago, we have roughly 2 months of supply. And what you can benchmark that against is typically anything more than 6 months of supply is when we start to see a buyer's market.
Okay.
So right now, it is still an aggressive seller's market for the next 45 days. What always happens as soon as June and July hit, you start to see more inventory come on the market, naturally, because the city's thawing out, it's nicer out, it's a little bit prettier on the curb appeal, and you start to see a little bit of buyer demand curb down because everyone was starting early in the spring to get ahead of the market.
Okay, and so what are you noticing when it comes to the condo market downtown? Because there always seems to be a little bit of a difference between what you're seeing in the suburban areas and what you're seeing downtown.
You're so right,
Yeah.
and especially coming out of COVID and the pandemic, we saw the more dense neighborhoods, the high-rise neighborhoods, build up in inventory, because a lot of those properties are, pied-à-terres, weekend getaway homes, and a lot of people decided to test the market, put those properties on sale. Now, though, we're seeing more demand go back into those high-rise markets, and we're starting to see inventory shrink.
How much is it shrinking?
It's right now, we're roughly around 8 to 9 months supply.
Okay.
At one point in 2021, we had almost 18 months of supply
So
in the
double
high-rise
that, yeah.
network. So,
And the suburban market, you said, is stronger than the city market.
yeah, a lot of people that want more space, want the yard, growing families, they're exiting the city, going to the burbs, and it's hyper competitive out there where we're seeing multiple offers. We're seeing values go above list price. So it's really important for buyers to align with a realtor, a professional, so that they're set up for success and understand what they're getting into to stay competitive.
Did I hear correctly that you said one home went for $100K over asking?
Many homes. Many homes are going
Yeah.
like that right now. You're seeing multiple offers. You're seeing a lot of people waive inspections. We're seeing people offer as is. So
I want to ask you about some of the bills that you're working on. Obviously, we've been talking a lot about affordable housing and affordability for people both in the city and suburban areas. You're working on a few things that might address that.
yeah, one thing that we're really proud about aligning with the governor is we're working on a first-time homebuyer savings account. So a tax advantage account which would allow a single individual save up to $25,000 and a couple to save up to $50,000 to go directly towards a down payment. So it's an awesome savings mechanism to help prepare buyers financially to stay ahead.
We just have a few seconds left. How does interest rates, tariffs, the stock market, how does that all combine together to impact things?
Great question. A lot of times when people say, the Fed's announced the Fed fund rates going up and down, they correlate that with mortgage rates. They're not correlated. The greatest thing you can follow is the 10-year Treasury yield. So when that goes up and down, that you see mortgage rates follow. Tariffs aren't really affecting rates too much right now. It's throwing a curveball into the market. However, where we're seeing tariffs really affect buyers is on the higher end market, where people are spending more cash than borrowing, to purchase, and that money's coming from the stock market. So we're seeing a little volatility there.
Okay. So interesting. Thank you so much.
Thanks
Good
for
luck to
having
you
me.
for the
Thank
real
you.
estate
Thank
season
you.
here. All
Appreciate
right.
it.
Thank you, Tommy Choi.